I first met her many years ago at a festival. I'm a professional artist and I sell my work at festivals and conventions. She was being harassed by a creeper near my booth, and my friend, who saw the whole thing, offered her to hide behind the booth with us. We were all girls in our early 20s, so I thought nothing of it. We quickly became friends, and she would visit me whenever I was selling art at nearby events, and she would help me out with work as well. I've met many amazing lifelong friends this way, and I thought she would be another good friend and invited her to my house for a tea party after knowing her for over a year. All went really well, and she was so fun with everyone. Then, one day, I get a phone call from her, crying and being incoherent. I could understand each word and sentence she said, but nothing she said made any sense together. It's hard to explain, but she just kept saying things that were grammatically correct, but no real information was conveyed. I was immediately worried about her safety and told her that she could stay over at my place, so she came over. In person, she explained more, but it was still really hard to understand her. She said something about breaking her teeth and her family being toxic, so I thought she was being abused at home. Later, she revealed that her teeth had nothing to do with her family, and it was actually because she had fainted from not eating and hit the floor, breaking her teeth. But her family wasn't starving her, and they were worried about her not eating as well. Then, she talked about being unhappy with her school life and wanting to find a job so she could move out of her toxic family's home. She never explained why her family was toxic, just that it was, and I didn't want to question her too much. I came from a toxic family myself and felt nothing but sympathy for her. I figured her patchy story was because she was distressed. I let her stay for as long as she wanted, but she chose to only spend one night. Later, she thanked me and said she was surprised that I helped her when none of her closer friends did. I thought her so-called friends were just assholes, but I would soon find out why, the hard way. From that event on, she would frequently call me to talk about her troubles. All were slightly confusing and hard to understand, but not as incomprehensible as that first call. I ended up staying on the phone with her for hours each time, comforting her and giving her advice, though it was hard since she didn't make a lot of sense. All of her troubles were vague, like, I saw my brother. Okay, but what did he do? He doesn't feel real. What does that even mean? I was getting frustrated because these calls were so long and frequent, and I didn't even know what she was trying to say. Then, she started just showing up at my house without telling me. I'm a busy person with a lot of work, so I don't normally have free time to hang out, but I always told myself that it was to help a friend in need, whatever her vague issues were. She would bring a lot of gifts each time as thanks, despite me telling her not to waste her money on me. Since she wanted to move out, she needed to save up. Sometimes I would spend the weekend with my boyfriend at the time, and she would wait outside my apartment, then leave a gift at the door without ever telling me. It was weird, but I just figured that's her way of showing thanks, and I should appreciate it. This goes on for about a year. One day, I was celebrating another friend's birthday when she texted me, sounding suicidal. I called her, but the signal was bad, so only texts went through. She started saying crazy shit like there's no way I could be actually nice to her, and that I must be faking it so that I can laugh at her behind her back. I was really hurt because I spent so much time trying to help her, and out of nowhere she calls me a fake. I ask her why she thinks that, and she explains it's because I'm dating a guy. Apparently, she had got in her head that I'm a lesbian, which I'm not, and she never mentioned herself being one either. So dating a guy makes me a liar, and therefore I'm lying about helping her. At that point, my phone was dying, and I tell her that. I also tell her she needs to see a medical professional because I can't help her anymore. She says that's proof that I'm a fake person and some other negative stuff. My phone dies, and I try to enjoy the rest of my friend's birthday since whatever is wrong with her is beyond what I can do. About a month later, I haven't heard from her, and then, without warning, she's ringing my doorbell. After the last text conversation, I didn't want to deal with her anymore, so I just pretended that I wasn't home. As expected, she left a gift bag by my door, which I could see from the peephole. I didn't go out to get it, and after about 10 minutes, the door rang again. I felt something was off, so I stayed by the door and looked out. She would move the gift bag and go hide somewhere, then adjust the location of the bag, ring the doorbell and hide again. She did this for an hour, all the while texting me saying she did see a doctor, so she's all better now and I should open the door. I kept thinking that if I just pretend I'm not home, she will really leave this time, but she didn't. And then suddenly, I saw her hand come up and cover the peephole so I couldn't see out anymore. That freaked me out so much. I frantically texted my other friends for help, and they told me to call the cops, so I did. The police arrived in 5 minutes and asked her to leave. She lies to their face, saying that there's a misunderstanding, that I had invited her over to hang out because we're friends. Good thing the police knew my side of the story, because she's a small and innocent-looking girl and could have fooled anyone. They tell her to leave again and told her that I specifically did not want her and did not invite her. She lies again, but in a more crazy way this time. She says she's from Nebraska, where friends just visit each other without invitations. The police tells her this is California, so she can't do that. They finally escorted her away before I opened the door and thanked them. After that, I didn't hear from her for a year until I announced to my online followers of my art that I would be at the same festival that I met her at. She leaves a comment under my post saying she will come stalk me again. Her words. Except she said it as if it was a funny joke, like she's definitely not a stalker, and how silly it was of me to have thought that. I was really stressed out because she's clearly unstable and who knows if she'll get worse. I contacted the cops and had my boyfriend tell her sternly to leave me alone or we will call the police. She acted very offended, like she's just a nice girl, and why are we being mean to her? Thankfully, that was the last I heard from her, and it's been 2 years since. Now I know why none of her other friends offered her help when she first came to me. I wish they had warned me too.